Ramaphosa under fire for using the presidency to pitch to voters on national TV. President Cyril Ramaphosa's address to the nation on Sunday evening has come under fire after he used the power of the presidency to call a nationally broadcast address for what many believe was a pitch to voters 2 days out of a pivotal election. In his address to the nation on Sunday, President Cyril Ramaphosa rallied South Africans to exercise their democratic rights in the upcoming elections. Speaking from the Union buildings, Ramaphosa highlighted the significance of the forthcoming electoral process and reflected on the achievements and challenges of his administration. This is a campaign speech. Abuse of power by Cyril Ramaphosa. Leaders of Build One South Africa, Mmusi Maimane, said in X. Cyril Ramaphosa commanded the national television channels tonight to give a last-ditch campaign speech disguised as a presidential address to the nation. The disguise isn't fooling anyone, said Geoffrey York, the Africa correspondent for the Globe and Mail. In this speech on Sunday night, Ramaphosa said that at 9 a.m. on Monday, voting stations and homes across the country, South Africans who have registered for special votes will begin to cast their ballots. Thousands of South Africans living abroad have already voted, Ramaphosa announced, highlighting the logistical readiness of the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC. The election marks the 7th democratic vote since the end of apartheid, a milestone that Ramaphosa emphasized as a testament to the enduring principles enshrined in the Freedom Charter. We will once again assert the fundamental principle articulated in the Freedom Charter that no government can justly claim authority unless it is based on the will of all the people, he said. The president praised the IEC for its meticulous preparations and the integrity of the electoral process, citing successful voters' registration weekends, the organization of overseas voting, and the diligent application of electoral laws. We commend the Independent Electoral Commission for the impressive work they have undertaken in preparation for these elections, he said. Ramaphosa also addressed concerns over recent reports of electoral obstruction, including unlawful entries of IEC storage sites in KwaZulu-Natal. He called for restraint and adherence to democratic principles. We once again call upon all parties, candidates, supporters, and every South African to refrain from any action that could interfere with the due electoral process, he urged. Reflecting on his administration's tenure, Ramaphosa recounted the nation's recovery from the decade marked by corruption and state capture. Today, we have put that era behind us. We have placed South Africa on a new trajectory of recovery and laid a strong foundation for future growth, he said. The parliament highlighted key reforms in various sectors, efforts to combat crime and corruption, and the nation's unified response to the COVID-19 pandemic. He noted the significant strides made in the rebuilding of the economy, tackling youth employment, and addressing gender-based violence. Together, we succeeded in administering more than 39 million COVID vaccine doses, Ramaphosa said, reminding South Africans of the collective effort during the pandemic. Despite the progress, Ramaphosa acknowledged the ongoing challenges and emphasized the need for continued resilience and unity. At this moment, in our path to renewal, we cannot afford to turn back. There is more work to be done, he concluded, urging all South Africans to vote and reaffirm their commitment to democracy. We are a diverse people, but a united nation. Let us be united in our commitment to our democracy, he declared, ending his address with a call for nation unity and blessing for the country. With campaigning now over, who will emerge victorious in the general elections? It is crunch time for political parties as many hosted their final rallies over the weekend in an effort to woo over 20 million eligible voters to vote for them on Wednesday. Political parties registered to contest the general elections campaigned until the cutoff time, which was midnight, in their final electioneering quest. The high unemployment rate, corruption, load shedding, high crime levels, gender-based violence, and femicide and service delivery were high on a priority list of the political parties contesting the general elections. On Sunday, the DA held its Rescue South Africa rally in Benoni, Ekurhuleni, where party leader John Steenhuisen said the ANC would lose the outright majority which had been abused for decades. This new chapter will not be written by the ANC or its president Cyril Ramaphosa of the rotten people at the Union buildings. It will be written by the people of South Africa. The DA is looking for a convincing victory, said Steenhuisen. The IFB held its Siyanqoba rally at the Umlatuze Sports Complex in Richards Bay, KwaZulu-Natal yesterday. Party leader Valenkosini Hlabisa took a swipe at Ramaphosa for hastily signing into law the National Health Insurance (NHI) bill just before the elections, despite there being no plan to fund it. Action SA held its rally yesterday in Midrand, where party leader Herman Mashaba said after many years of supporting the governing party, including financial support for the ANC in the dark days of apartheid, he could no longer stand on the sidelines and allow South Africa to become a failed state. Too many patriotic South Africans paid the ultimate price to see the end of apartheid. In honor of them, we cannot give up on South Africa. Prior to 1994, we fought for recognition and equality. We fought for a South Africa that does not divide its citizens based on the color or their skin, Mashaba said. The African Transformation Movement, ATM, held its rally at Makwana Great Palace in Eastern Cape on Saturday. There is nothing that pains me more than seeing the pain and hopelessness for the millions of South African citizens, because what I do is to engage the people from hawkers, unemployed, and almost everyone. Once you engage them, one can see you have lost hope, simply because they have been voting since 1994 and have been let down ever since, said ATM leader Vuyolwethu Zungula. Build One South Africa Bosa leader Musa Maimane, during the Jikzinto rally, told hundreds of his supporters in Johannesburg that the party would create over 2 million jobs and end corruption if given the chance to rule the country. Maimane said his party was serious in fighting crime, hence the plan to hire about 120,000 newly trained officers to beef up security for citizens. Maimane also said that if former President Nelson Mandela was alive, he would have voted for Botha. History will remember the coming elections, said Maimane. On Saturday, the ANC held its Siyanqoba rally in Soweto, where President Cyril Ramaphosa declared that victory for the party was certain. Ramaphosa's address came just hours after he signed the National Prosecuting Authority Amendment Bill and the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Bill. The signing of these two acts signals our determination to continue to build an ethical, capable state with strong institutions that can deliver on their mandate of improving the lives of every South African, he said at the Union Building on Friday morning. Ramaphosa said that with the signing of the NPA Amendment Bill, the country would once again have a scorpion-like institution to fight the scourge of corruption. And that's it from Injibs Network. Stay tuned to our celebrity and gossip news.